everybody, welcome back to another episode of Old Yeller. This is kind of the last episode for a little while. Was able to get her running and actually drive it. Had to get it out of Canyon City, so had to load it up on a trailer, which entailed us getting the winch on the trailer and a very long drive out to the new property that we bought in Nebraska. So kind of 3 episodes in one here. One episode getting it to Nebraska. That was an event in itself, and then went through another water pump iteration, and then finally got her running, put it in gear, and got to drive it around the property a little bit. So all good stuff. It's the winch that I installed, Harbor Freight. People seem to like them. Had to remove this guy because clearance wasn't there. This is what was hitting. Well, not there, but. I thought about doing this outside so I could just let it roll off the ramp, but then I have to pull it back in. I thought, I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to just do it in here, like a controlled descent. And I'm thinking maybe I should go outside and just let her rip. cheap Harbor Freight engine jack, cherry picker. I'd easily get another $200 right now for a bigger. But it's going. Now we're gonna let her down. And I let it down slow. The thing has zero freaking reach. Probably not designed to have the engine and transmission together. I don't know. Okay. Feeling better now. And first time this engine's been off this truck. Bonus with this truck that I bought. Engine, transmission, and this cart looks like the guy made himself. And this piece of wood. So, try to use it. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna go try to park this. It's just funny. The guy wanted $2,500 for this truck. I don't remember what I offered him. I think I offered him $1,500. He said the engine on the back's worth that. Maybe. We take $2,000. Okay, I'm good. So $2,500, talk him down to $2,000 with an engine. Pontiac, totally different story. The guy wanted $2,500. I called him. I said, "We take $1,500." He said, "No. I'll take $2,000." And I have an engine with it that comes with it. It's the right year 389. So no coincidence there at all. So right now I'm in this mode of I'm looking for vehicles that are $2,500 that I can get for $2,000 and they come with a spare engine that I'll likely never use. It's so funny too because the only reason I got this engine stand, God, why do I keep calling it that? The only reason I got this cherry picker, the only reason I got this thing was because the guy that I bought the Pontiac from said that he was giving me an engine. So driving out, so I was driving out to get the car, bought my trailer on the way. So I didn't have a trailer, bought the trailer, didn't have a cherry picker, bought a cherry picker, and was driving through town on the way out to get the car, and there was a pawn shop in town, and they had a cherry picker sitting out front. Why didn't I stop and get it? It was probably cheaper than this. I could have taken this back to Harbor Freight and got my $220 back or whatever it was, and not be risking my life every time I do this. So anyways, I go get the car from the guy. He's got a tractor. He pulls the car up onto the trailer with his tractor. Driving home very slowly, I stopped to take a break to kind of check the straps and chains and everything else I had it tied to the trailer with. And I pull off this little town, and it's basically a ghost town. There's an old maintenance shop on Main Street, totally overgrown with weeds. Freaking cherry picker in the ditch, and I pulled it out. Did it work? Maybe the ram didn't work. I don't know, but I'm like, 2 opportunities to get cherry pickers. If I wouldn't have bought this one at Harbor Freight, there's no way I would have seen those. But I passed on both of them. I could have got the one from the pawn shop. I could have pulled the one out of the ditch. Either one of those probably would be better than this. And then I could have taken this thing back, and what I just did would have not been that scary. Set it down here. I swear that V6 is heavier than my old 440. Oh my God. Here's what we have tonight. I don't know if you guys like this kind of stuff, but we love coming out here. Always did. So we got this place because, listen, it was 90 degrees. It was brutally hot just because of the humidity. And now it's perfect temperature. It's actually kind of chilly. I'm kind of chilly. That's the house we're going to restore. That's all the lead paint. If anyone needs lead paint chips, hit me up. Oh boy. Is anybody? Oh my God, because I had to take a photo of it. But look at that. That's a good photo, man. So tell me it's not. If I could have got the... I don't know if this is designed to lift an engine from, but that's what I'm using it for. And then this chain is just too small. Obviously not big enough to lift an engine, but so I wrapped it around the transmission and I got a bolt through there. You probably can't see, it's too dark. That's a nice fuel filter. It's so heavy. I guess, I don't know. It's because it's the transmission, but man. I'm definitely going to try to get this thing running. Sorry to blind you. I have no idea what it is. It's a motor. I'll have to look up the numbers on it or something. I don't know. I would love to think that I could use this carburetor on the GMC. Oh, it's got 6 plugs. Wow, one for each cylinder. That's awesome. I've been telling everyone there's no mosquitoes out here. What's my punishment? They're here. I don't know, but there it is. I did a lot of work to keep it off the pan, and it's on the pan, so it was well worth the effort. I think I've overstepped my abilities. I can't even get that red thing fixed, and that should be the easiest. I mean, there's 8 million YouTube videos on fixing Cherokees, and I still can't fix the thing. What I was afraid it's going to do is pop off like that. So I was going to wait to get Old Yeller moved over to here before I started messing with it, but he was just a calling. So I'm going to try to get Old Yeller running. Why not? Where I left it was, this is the old water pump, and that was a huge fail on my part again. Here's a carburetor. That was my first huge fail. Spent all the time putting new gaskets on it, and then it leaked just as bad after, but it's not the right carburetor anyway, so I didn't care. How's that? See, that's looking good. Oh, I do have two. This is the one that came with the new pump. It's got a rip in it. This is the one I bought from that guy in Oregon. I'll use this one. So, evidently you don't need a lot of force on these. Ultimately, what I think I'm going to have to do is get a, I don't know, actually I don't know. Ultimately what I'm going to need to do is figure out how to work on cars. But I don't have a press. And to change the seal, you have to press this all the way out, put the new seal on, put it all back together. That probably wouldn't go well for me, knowing me. So I got this one with the wrong pulley, and I'm going to have to change it out, which I'm going to have to go through the same process anyways. Just go put it on. How about that? If I had a pipe, I would put it in there and smoke it. So I'm just going to snug these up. Taking on a quick tour of the shop. Some of the cars I've acquired over the last couple months, and we're going to start working on. The Audi was an old car I had. Needs a transmission seal. The Bug I just picked up a little while ago needs a distributor. Always wanted a Bug for some reason, so got one. Wouldn't mind to have another one. There's the black Jeep, the tank as we call it. Shop's looking pretty clean at this point. Felt good to get old Yeller out here. Was gonna have to put it on hold for a while. The fan bolts for the water pump wouldn't go in because of the paint on the threads on the pulley that was done during the rebuild process, I guess, when they rebuilt it. So I had to get home and figure that out. It'd be about a month or so before I got back out. It was tough to leave. It's been a little while since I've been out here. A few weeks. It's been so hot. Which now I'm realizing was actually kind of nice, because now it's really kind of cold and I'm waiting for it to warm up. I'm an hour ahead. I actually got up at like 5:30, thinking it was 6:30, which is really early for me. But sun came up, starting to get warm, but it was 46 this morning. Slept in the camper and I feel like a reptile. I'm trying to get my blood warm. What I really wanted to do was try to get GMC running. And last time I was here, I put the new water pump on, and I know it's got the wrong width pulley, but I'm hoping with enough tension it'll spin it to run some water through there so I can try to see if this thing idles, just so I can start seeing if it goes into gear and stuff like that. But I couldn't get the fan bolts to go into the whatever, not the pulley, but whatever you call where the fan bolts go. Found some bolts. Well, so I looked, couldn't find any bolts to fit in. And I'm just being an idiot. It's just like you get out of practice on this stuff, I guess, and it's just you become a complete idiot. These are the bolts, the fan bolts from the other pump, and I guess I could just call it the pulley. I was thinking it was this plate, but I guess the pulley's actually threaded. So you look in there and you can see it's fine threads, and it's a 5/16 bolt. So I went there and tried to fit everything in. Well, it turns out, I think I'm sure the problem was they sprayed this with some kind of, I don't know, and I don't know where this was rebuilt. I don't know anything about it. I bought it on eBay for 80 bucks or something like that, 70 something, and it came in a, I don't know if I have the info on it. This might actually be the box it came in, which I've got the old pump in now, but it had some info. I think it's just a rebuilt pump that you would have gotten back in the 80s or whatever, and just sitting in someone's stock. I bought it, so I guess some company, I think it was maybe that Carid, I don't know, I don't know what that is, Car ID, rebuilt it. I guess it means it's rebuilt when it's got a yellow paint pen stripe on it, right? It's got this on it. It says reman, whatever, maybe a date. And then they sprayed it, and the threads inside were sprayed with this same stuff, so I couldn't get these bolts to go in, so decided to be a complete moron and just say there's no bolts that exist. So I was trying metric, I was trying everything. I'm like, well, I know it's not metric. It's off of GMC, or I mean, I think this is specific to GMC. I don't think this water pump would fit on any other engine. So I bought the coarse, but when you can look, and I can look at threads and see if it's coarse or fine. You kind of get an idea, and you kind of, but I thought maybe they're reverse threads. I don't know, but I could tell they weren't just by looking at them. So I ended up getting this 5/16 coarse thread bolt. Came home, used my old tap and die set, which I've had since I was in high school, I think. I bought this thing, or yeah, I don't know, maybe it was later. Early 90s I bought it. It's been so awesome to have. It's funny how often you use stuff like that. But so I tapped it with 5/16 coarse. It's fine. So that was stupid. But it went, and it cut the new threads, and it was actually this hole. Don't ever let me work on your car. So ran the fine through all those. They're good now. Cleaned them up. That's what you want. Hand tight. And then I ran the fine back through this one. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna recut them. I don't know how many times you can. I mean, I can't believe I could actually do that. You'd think it would just be a drilled through hole at this point, but it seems like it's fine. I don't know. I'm gonna have 3 good ones at least, so this one can be not great. I bet if I put a lot of torque on that, it would just clean the threads out. Anyways, the other thing I did, which is really difficult going back and forth, I left this bolt at home, which this bolt I was really struggling to tighten down because of the way it's in there. So if you look at the old pump, like they warn you when you rebuild these guys, you got to put this bolt back in before you press the pulley back on. The other thing I did, this is getting ridiculous. So this is the pump that came on there. I bought new gaskets for it, which I spent like, I don't know, I don't think I spent 40, but I spent a little bit. Bought this one for 80. Trying to avoid, I can buy this pump just like this, rebuilt from this guy in Oregon. I wonder if it's that same guy, that Dutchman or whatever. Anyways, I don't think it is, because it's north of, someplace north of Eugene. There's also a guy near Grants Pass, I forget the name of it, the town, but Flying Dutchman or something. He rebuilds. I think will rebuild this, although he doesn't have GMC on his website. Anyways, the other guy that I bought the gaskets from, and what did I buy from him? I got the gaskets. Oh, and these bolts, because I already had the back plate. That's the weird thing about this pump. So it's got a plate. It's like the pump doesn't go straight to the engine. You put this, so there's a gasket between the pump and the plate, and then there's a gasket between the plate and the engine. And they originally came with these flathead bolts holding that plate on, which I couldn't get off. And then I broke the ear on this guy trying to get it off, which I've fixed, which you can't even see where it is anymore because I fixed it so good. But you can see there you can kind of see it. Yeah, baby. It's not right, but you can see what I did. I tried to pull this pulley off with a three-arm puller, and I bent the pulley, which I don't know. I think that was going to mess up the belt, so I need to straighten that out. So I effed that up. This is too. It would have been cool if this came with the right pulley on it. I think I'd be good to go. So plan today. I have lots of plans for today, but one of the things I want to do today is put this pump back on. This will be my, I don't know, technically I guess my fourth, no, I think my fifth attempt at trying to get this frickin' water pump on. But I guess something had to be wrong with this, and I'll take the water pump because better than the engine being bad, but at least it seems like the engine runs. I mean, I know the engine runs. It's never run for more than like 30 seconds. So, well, maybe I'll try to do a YouTube channel on some of these cars and stuff and other house projects or whatever. It's never going to be a how-to, because I don't know how to. I guess it could be a how not to channel.
Ended up buying this press and bringing it back with me, hoping that it would help me fix this water pump. This is upside down. You need to press the shaft out the other direction, but used it to kind of break the shaft from the pulley so I could then use the puller to pull it off. Also brought my shop manual out, which kind of helped me visualize what I needed to do. It was a tough job, and as you can see from this photo, I did not have the right puller, so long day.
So I've had a struggle of an afternoon, but went messing with this water pump again. I was too frustrated to even try to film it. I finally got this. I think I understand it now, but the way it looked inside, it looked like it was two separate pieces, but I was able to pull this off. It was very difficult. All I had was this steering wheel puller, a bunch of washers. Not the right tool. I should have maybe just driven to town and got the right puller, and I need to get an impact wrench. And I think it probably would have come right off. Here's the pulley I got off that I need to put this on. Let me show you. I put that together too. When the camera died, I was working on that little teeny guy. I used it and it popped, and I think I pushed the shaft seal down in, and I think it popped it. I think that's what kind of got it freed up. I don't know, but now the impeller's low on the other pump. I broke the ear back off that I fixed. So obviously this is not the right pulley. God, life would have been easy if I would have got the right one. And I don't really want to mess with trying to pull that off with that little puller I have, so I'm going to put it all together, see if it at least spins this way with, I got it pretty tensioned up. I got to tighten that still, but I'm tightening these guys. I made sure I put the gasket on the right way. But this is where I wanted to be. The main thing I pulled the pulley off for is because I wanted that bolt in there with that slot so I could use a screwdriver to tighten it. Because last time I was here I couldn't get that tight. I couldn't get a socket on it, I couldn't get a wrench on it, there's no way to get it tightened, so I wanted that notched bolt head. I realize that the fan's not on, I was just putting those bolts in there so I don't lose them, because I will lose them. I'm sure when they designed this they thought, well, I know it's going to suck, but they can just get a crescent wrench and put it on a screwdriver, you know, and I'll do that. I'm sure that's what they were thinking. Alright. I'm pretty confident that those are tight, whether it's going to leave or not, I don't know. Give one more little, make sure snug up. Okay. I just put these on and take them back off. Even when it's daytime, in here it's kind of dark over this corner, so that's not bad. With my confidence, I don't have tires, I don't have switches, I really, I don't have wheels, but let's see, definitely needs a new starter. Battery got down to about, it was a 12.2 last night when I was kind of giving up on the whole thing, and then when I came in today, this morning, I was going to swap batteries out just to see. I started looking at the wiring, thinking I'd clean the wiring up. It's funny though, last night when it wasn't wanting to turn over, it turned over and kind of coughed a little bit, and then that's all the juice I had in the battery, but as I kept trying to start it, I rotated the distributor a little bit because it just sounded like it was on the wrong, which wouldn't matter to start, like it doesn't make sense, but I turned the distributor a little bit and it actually kind of started turning the engine over by turning the distributor, so I thought there was a loose wire between the distributor and the coil or something. Like, it doesn't make sense at all, so, but I just thought that was, I don't know, interesting. Like, it'd be fun to talk to someone to try to diagnose the problem, and I said, well, when I turn the distributor, it kind of, you know, it starts the engine. People will be like, no, that's not how that works, but so I don't know what's going on with that. So I guess I could, windy. So here's the plan. I'll put the radiator back in. I'm going to put well water in here. It's a 56 GMC with a 54 engine. And I think groundwater is going to work good. I don't know that there's a lot of mineral content in it. I think this engine probably doesn't have the best fluid channels, which maybe that's a reason to get distilled water, but I don't know that I feel like putting 2 hours on the truck to go to get water, distilled water. I should have brought some, but. And probably need to flush it anyway. So I don't know. Is it bad to put well water in? I know some places, like if I was in Texas, I probably wouldn't want to because there's so much calcium. I don't know why it's so bad to not use, why you need to use distilled water. I think it's because of the mineral deposits. But anyways, I'm going to go with the lazy route and put water out of our well in. I'm like nervous. Damn, I got fucking shit in the water, huh? Looks like the fuel pump's pumping though. Gosh, she turns over nice with voltage. Oh, I should fill the float like I. That's not going to work. So long as it's run. That's pretty exciting. I was told this engine was locked up. I'll get some more water. Try to. What's next? Put it in gear. Wow, she's smoking. Love it. Look at the smoke in here. It's beautiful. Car's starting to get warm. I don't know, I guess the generator is working? I don't know, I can't tell. Probably not, huh? Maybe it should be 0. I didn't know I had a clock. I had a clock here. Temperature, I don't know if it's working. It's coming up 140. Oil pressure looks good. I guess these all work. This truck is in better shape than I thought when I bought it, that's for sure. That's not connected. Hey girl, got her. Wanna go for a ride? No, watch out. Oh, go on. Sorry girl, I tricked you. Well, she's a running. Stuff's starting to burn off, leaves and I don't know what's burning. There's leaves in there. Not even sure what the next phase is. I think that's just leaves. Probably should have cleaned those dried out leaves off the manifold. But I'm me, so I didn't. Actually, I normally would do that. Boy, it's really smoking. I don't think it's been hot. This is a good place to lean right here. I don't think it's been hot since, well, I mean the plates are 1990, I think. It doesn't mean anything, but last time it was registered was 1990. Why he painted the license plates white, I don't know, because it's a ghost truck, I guess. But I don't know if it was driven since if it was 1990. That's the year I moved back to Colorado. That's so many years ago. It's hard to do the math on. 10, 20, 30, 2 years. 32 years? When was the last time this thing was registered? Can we assume it hasn't run in 32 years? No way. I would say no way. But you know what's kind of cool is I could start this thing right now and it'll run. I feel like sometimes you get them running and then they don't run anymore, but let's see. She's a smoking. Locked up. Locked up. Do I want to keep this engine? It's a 248. Original two. It came out of a 70. Came out of a 54. It's a 54 engine. God only knows what it came out of. And I think it's kind of interesting because this truck, I was thinking, had a 270 cubic inch 56 engine. But when I read, well, I didn't read this, but someone told me, GMC guy, probably know him, Elderly Iron. I thought he said if it was a I guess he said maybe if it was a 1.5 ton. I thought he said if it was a 56 with an automatic, it only came with a V8, which I really don't think this came with a V8. See a leak, which is not super surprising. God only knows what it is. Looks like it's transmission fluid. Shoot, I wonder if that had to have been there. That had to have been there. I wonder what it's from. Maybe from me towing it? I towed it on a trailer. So, well, that's all I wanted to do is get the engine running, so I'm good. I'm going to haul it to the junkyard now. I don't know what's next. I'm going to go get some well water and mix with my antifreeze. Top off the radiator. I'm going to start it again, top off the radiator. I'm really bummed about that belt. I wasn't thinking about it squealing. There's no way I'm going to get enough tension on that thing to make it not squeal whenever I accelerate. So I'm gonna have to suck it up, pull the radiator back out, drain the radiator, pull the radiator out, pull that pulley off of that water pump, and put my old one back on. The old pulley I have is bent, so I got to straighten it out. Dang, the water pump has just been my nemesis. But that water pump is not leaking, or it doesn't seem to be. The other one was just pouring water out. I honestly don't know what the next. I mean, the next thing is to put it in gear, see if it goes into gear. If it does go into gear, that's great. I gotta make a runway for myself though. Theoretically, I should be able to put it in gear. God, there's so much smoke in here. I love it. That's the kind of air I like to breathe. I guess I could mess with the brakes first and then get brakes and then try to put it in gear, but boy, I'd sure like to know if it goes into gear. If it goes into gear, I mean, I could open up the barn doors and just vice grip garage style and just frickin' drive around in the field. I don't think that's a good idea. I should work on the brakes. Maybe it has brakes. Probably not. Yeah, I should pour some more in there. It's holding brake fluid. Not really. Brake sensor. Is it even worth like pushing on the brakes? What if the brakes worked? Or at least a little bit, so I can put it in gear. They actually have pressure. Oh man. What if I start it up and I shift it? I'm still confused with, I can't even see it. So this is reverse. God, why can't I see that? Maybe I can see it on the camera. Oh yeah, 1 4 1 3 1 2. What does that mean? Actually, pressure in the brakes, which is impossible because the master cylinder was bone dry. I topped it off, I don't know, a few months ago, and I looked again today and it was nearly bone dry. I topped it off again and now I'm feeling pressure. I might have brakes. Oh my God. Is the clock working? What is it really? Oh my God, it's 10 o'clock already? So I feel like it's got brakes. I mean, should I try to start it, put it in gear? I don't know. That's asking a lot, isn't it? Old yellers are running. I'm gonna move the stuff around, and I'm gonna try to put it in gear and see if she goes outside. I'm nervous. We'll see how it goes. First, I'm gonna bust my back. Something failed. Gotta run out of. God, I'm scared to look. Now I can't find the dog.